Hey folks, David Stewart. A little bit more on cancel culture. Unfortunately, it's been a big week for that. You can find more about this at my blog, deviouspress.com. So all it takes is one complaint to get you removed from what should be a neutral service, like an email subscription service. So Stefan Molyneux got kicked off of MailChimp, which is a service that I currently use, and I'm looking into other alternatives. I'll let you know what's going on with that in the future, because of one complaint. So, hey, MailChimp, did you know you power white nationalist Stefan Molyneux, who's an anarchist, by the way, his email newsletter. Molyneux promotes eugenics, race science, and men's rights activism. He doesn't promote eugenics. He doesn't promote race. Does promote race science in a sense, because he talks about race and IQ, and there's nothing wrong with being an activist for men's rights. So who is this Ms. Doodles? She's not verified, but the site that she runs, which is dedicated to attacking any advertisers who advertise on Breitbart or anywhere else. Basically, the idea is to cut off any kind of relationship between a site that they deem problematic and any kind of advertiser that might want to reach customers who actually go to that site. Now, to me, advertising is a really basic relationship. You're attracting people's attention. I would like to show my product while you have their attention, and it's a win-win, right? So in this case, it's to try to prevent that from existing. It's a deplatforming campaign. This is what I talk about when I talk about the bestial economic system. If you do not worship Satan, you will be denied access to the economy. This is what I'm talking about. Because to me, worshiping Satan at a very basic level, and you don't even have to be religious to think this, it's denying truth. So Stefan Molyneux definitely spends his time talking about the truth, at least as he perceives it. And if he's wrong about something, he's wrong about something, but it's not like he is spending time asking for genocide or something like that, especially as an anarchist. So besides this being defamatory on a basic level, because he's not a nationalist. There's really no such thing as white nationalism. I've talked about this before. Because white isn't a nation. White is a race. A nation would be like Celts, right, or the Scots. They'd be a nation. So thus, Scotland is a nation, but white cannot be a nation. Anyway, so unless he says the things that you're supposed to say, you're going to get denied access to the economy. And the problem is that those goalposts are always going to shift. So people who think they're safe, trust me, you're not safe. The goalposts are going to shift to another side of you. Your identity will not protect you. Just because you're trans, you won't be protected. Just because you're female, you won't be protected. Just because you're a minority, you won't be protected. Any of that stuff, it's not going to help you out in the long run. This is about collecting scalps and getting cred, and this is about furthering the mission of destroying any economic access to anyone who dissents to the primary narrative. It's going to be a big problem going forward because, especially as an author, it's really hard to avoid using these bigger platforms like MailChimp because I have to email so many people. And I also need integrations with other sites like BookFunnel that help me collect addresses and give people free books and things like that. So it's a big problem unless you want to do things really the hard way, which is like you can have an email list on, say, Outlook, but adding people to it, it's just a constant chore. It's much easier to automate it. So removing your ability to easily access the economy, it's like someone can still mail me checks to my P.O. box. But it's a lot easier if they can send me PayPal stuff. Now, one of the reasons I think Stefan was targeted for this, I don't think this person actually watches Stefan's content. He just knows he's a persona non grata for anyone, to the left of center, let's say. He's also a soft target because he got banned from PayPal. And getting kicked off of PayPal is a big deal because that's one of the main payment processors that you need to use. It's a hegemon of the payment processing world. Then you kind of have to use it if you're an artist because there's no other cheap alternatives really besides like mailing people checks or trying to wire things between banks can get expensive, whereas PayPal's very easy. You can do it instantly. It's a really good service that people really need. So because he got kicked off of PayPal and really didn't do anything about it, that also sends up a flare like this person's a soft target. We can hit them and deplatform them and claim victory, and they won't fight. They won't make the rubble bounce. They won't sue me. I think stepping into the middle of this and declaring, talking to MailChimp, who she has no relationship with, and getting them to cancel an account, a business account of someone they do have a business relationship with. I think this has at least the possibility of being a lawsuit. I'm not an attorney, but several attorneys I've talked to have said this is basically tortious interference. I think you'd have a good shot of actually having this lawsuit be successful. And depending on the way that you approach lawfare, which is warfare through law, it could be a very, very productive exercise, even if you don't win, because you bleed the enemy of a significant amount of their resources, time, and attention by forcing them to go through the legal processes. This is something that has also been introduced to me a couple different lines. Although you think that you're the little guy and you're outmatched by a big company like Google or like anything, the reality is that if you go through the legal processes to sue them, and if you can keep your expenses pretty low, like if you have a lawyer friend who could at least do the filing for you, or someone who will stay on retainer pretty cheap, that might be an associate or friend of yours, then you can make them go through mediation and do all these things and pay their high-priced lawyers hundreds of thousands of dollars to just avoid what are they avoiding? Like, if they could, to avoid reinstating your account, they end up losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if lots of people were to do that, you could very quickly create legal expense problems for large corporations. But most people just think that they're powerless because they don't have a ton of money to go sue Google, and Google basically has infinite money. But the reality is their lawyers may not be as competent as people think they are, and just if they're a high-priced lawyer, making them go through all the legal steps before you then drop a lawsuit can still cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if enough people were to do it, it would actually be a pretty significant harm to some of these large companies. So that's what I kind of wanted to say with this one. Thanks so much for watching. I will keep you posted. You can still join my mailing list, dvspress.com/list. I'll keep you posted on new mail clients, and do drop by for New Pub Talk Wednesdays at 6 p.m. I'll see you guys next time.